Hey film fans, my name is David. This is Film Collector Archive, and today we are talking about In Search of Tomorrow. I was really excited to find my copy of In Search of Tomorrow in the mail. Sorry, I'm making sure there's not a glare on there. Let me give you a closer look at the cover here. This is the definitive 80s sci-fi documentary, and let me tell you, it lives up to the name. Now, with this video, what I wanted to do was give some thoughts on this company, CreatorVC, and just share a little bit of my thoughts on crowdfunding and kind of what you can expect if this is not an experience that you've had before in terms of contributing to a crowd-funded production like In Search of Tomorrow. So CreatorVC, they have produced some really wonderful film documentaries. In fact, there was an add-in, a little sheet here in their mailer that they included with the Blu-ray, and this gives a look at their upcoming In Search of Darkness Part 3 and also Aliens Expanded. Now, In Search of Darkness Part 3, obviously that means there was a Part 1 and a Part 2. This has been an absolutely spectacular series from CreatorVC on the horror films of the 1980s, which is obviously an era where horror just exploded. It was its most creative and most expressive, and man, it's just, this series In Search of Darkness has been really wonderful. There's also, in fact, I should have grabbed these titles off of my shelf, but In Search of the Last Action Heroes is another title that they've done, talking about action films of the 80s. And they have one announced that they're in production. I don't know exactly where they're at in production, but it's I think the name of the documentary is FPS, First Person Shooter, and it's a retrospective on first person shooter video games. So these guys, they do not cut corners. The runtime, just to give you an example here on In Search of Tomorrow, the runtime on this documentary is 300 minutes. And so we're a runtime, what is that, about 5 hours or so. Now, I backed this project, and I just wanted to give you an idea on the time frame and kind of what to expect if this is something you would like to do in the future. CreatorVC is worth every penny in terms of backing their projects. So just to give you a time frame, I backed this project and paid for paid for it in February of 2021, and I just got this disc in. It was actually a couple of weeks ago at time of filming this that I got my disc in the mail. So that's north of a year, really closer to a year and a half from when I backed the project to when I had the disc in hand, or the Blu-ray in hand. So that gives you an idea. It's definitely something that you need to be patient with, but it's really fun because you get production updates over email, and there's some backer events and stuff that you get invites to, so you can really kind of get involved with the community as they are producing these documentaries. And they take a lot of feedback from their backers, which is really cool as well. They always have A-list interviews for these documentaries, the absolute top names that contribute to these films. You'll see them throughout the documentary. So they definitely go all the way with these things, and they're really engaging. They gave backers early access to the film. So I've already seen the documentary, and I'll tell you right now, it does not feel like a 5-hour long documentary because you're so engaged in the discussions, the interviews that are happening. Obviously the footage from the films, it's very nostalgic, and just a really awesome trip through 80s sci-fi. Now, something else that's really cool is I not only did I back the project and get the Blu-ray, but they give you the option of, in fact, I think it's all, don't quote me on this, but I think it's all levels, or maybe it's one level up from bottom. Anyways, you're able to get your name in the credits on the film. So my name is actually in the credits on this film. At the end of the film, they have a backer section, and it feels like it goes on for an eternity. They have a lot of support for these films, and so tons and tons and tons of names, but it's really special to see your name up on screen and feel like you contributed to something that means a lot to you. And the sci-fi films of the 80s mean an absolute metric ton to me in terms of my my film journey, my experience growing up watching films really hit a lot on 80s sci-fi. So that was something I really wanted to see, was my name in the credits. And so that's just kind of a fun added bonus of backing the project, is your name's there forever, which is really cool. Now, in addition to the Blu-ray, and then they have the little, ad in here, advertising for their future projects. And I do have to say, I'm really excited about Aliens Expanded. I definitely look forward to supporting them on that one. And then I do already have my order in, or I already backed In Search of Darkness Part 3. So, what else do you get? Well, you get a couple of things. First, or a few things. First, you get this enamel pin. Just give you a close-up on that. So this enamel pin is included. Also, you get a pack of, there's 3 posters in here, or 2 or 3 posters in here. And you can see right there we have E.T. That's going to be this cover. And then there's at least 1 alternate poster in here, if not 2. But you get the poster set. And lastly, and this is kind of shoved in there, but I think the stickers will probably be fine. But yeah, it's a set of stickers here. So just to give you a closer look at those. Whoops, let's go this way. So a nice little sticker set that's included there as well. And that shipped with my, with backing the project. So this obviously came in a longer box to help, support shipping the posters, so they're not folded up or anything like that. They're rolled, and it ships basically like the Scream Factory new releases do. That's comparable, that ship with the posters, so you can kind of know what to expect. These don't ship in a poster tube, but they are rolled up here in the plastic. So if you have not looked up CreatorVC, I'll add a link in the description so you can go visit their site and see what they're up to. It seems like there's always cool projects coming from these guys, and so they're definitely a production team that I look forward to supporting in years to come. I can't wait to see what they do next. Obviously, we have the Aliens Expanded and then In Search of Darkness Part 3 to look forward to. But let me know what your experience has been with crowdfunding, with supporting projects like this from CreatorVC. It's been pretty smooth for me overall. There was one thing that I had to write their team about and inquire about. When they gave early access to the film, I didn't get an email on it, or wasn't granted access to it, and so I had to contact their team, and they had to go back and dig through and find the email or whatever they found on their end to show that I did back the project. So there's one little hiccup there, but they are really managing a ton of backers and making sure that they all have access to what they need to have access to, making sure obviously that orders get shipped out. So I understand that they're dealing with a lot of people. So my experience overall has been really positive with them. So yeah, definitely let me know if you've backed any projects before. with CreatorVC or otherwise, and what your experience has been. Are there any projects that you backed that maybe you wouldn't back in the future, or just kind of let me know your thoughts on that. I always look forward to engaging with you guys in the comments, and I'd like to know your experience. But yeah, CreatorVC comes highly recommended. In Search of Tomorrow comes very highly recommended. These can be a little bit tough to get a hold of after they have sent out backer copies. I know for me, for instance, on In Search of the Last Action Heroes, I actually think I just bought that one on Amazon, and that was actually put out by a different distributor, not from them directly. In fact, I think that was Gravitas Ventures that put out In Search of the Last Action Heroes. Anyways, I got that one on Amazon, I think, but these can be a little tough to come by, and the aftermarket, so eBay, these will really shoot up in price. They're not cheap to begin with. Just to give you an idea of what I paid here, it was at least because I had my name in the credits as well. I want to say this was about $90, I want to say. I understand that that's not cheap, and this is not going to be for everybody, but that is something to note. And I think there might have been a tier lower than what I did because I wanted my name in the credits. And yeah. And I also wanted to note, there's a reason that I wanted my name in the credits. It's kind of fun to see this come full circle in a way. One of the big films of the 1980s sci-fi landscape is the fan favorite Star Trek film, The Wrath of Khan. Now, interesting note, my dad actually was a contributor on that film. He did some of the graphics for the film, and so obviously his name is in the credits of that film. And it's interesting, all these years later, that was 1982, we're in 2022, to have my name in the credits on a film that discusses The Wrath of Khan was kind of a cool, full circle type thing. So that was, my kind of cheesy reason for my wanting my name in the credits, but really cool nonetheless. Anyways, I am babbling on at this point. I look forward to seeing you in the comments, and until next time, I hope you're able to watch a lot of great films.